Tommy, can you share with us the dish, the vegan dish that you brought to today's potluck?
Yes. So I made a vegan pasta salad. So my, I think I had 6 ingredients. I used whole wheat pasta shells, black beans, garlic, salt, dill pickles, and red pepper. And also vegan mayo. Yes, there's vegan mayo. So those are the 6 things that I used, and I actually did all of this morning. The one thing that I did add was just like a tablespoon of deli mustard, deli mustard, and also some fresh dill.
Okay.
So, but it was pretty simple, and it was actually really, really cost effective. So it was, for all the ingredients in total, I spent $12. And if I think about it, I probably really only spent, for that bowl, probably $5 to make enough for 6 people. Yeah, so really cost effective and actually pretty darn tasty. So
It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Now, was there like a challenge or a pleasant surprise with making this dish?
So the one challenge was finding vegan mayo. Like, I went into the normal grocery store, I was just like, mayo, no. Natural foods, no vegan mayo. So a lot of the stuff that says natural is not necessarily vegan.
Right.
It's just no GMOs or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you have to go specifically to a place that sells vegan products to get vegan stuff. So it took a half an hour for me to find vegan mayo and to make my dish.
I wonder if you could make a vegan mayo substitute.
If Trader Joe's did not have vegan mayo, that's what I was going to do.
And me and Jenny were just talking, and it seems like regular grocery stores are starting to have more vegan products too. Like Giant, I know, has the vegan mayo. So sometimes you can just call around. But so we are seeing that more grocery stores have.
It's worth a try.
Right, it is. So, okay. Thanks, Tommy, for sharing.
You're welcome.
Roger.
What was the first question?
What dish did you bring? What vegan dish did you bring?
Chips and salsa.
Chips and salsa.
From the bag and the bottle.
So why did you choose to bring chips and salsa?
Well, my original plan was to try to make guacamole and bring chips.
Oh, nice.
And then, which I do sometimes, and it's vegan, but then I realized I didn't have much time, and also I couldn't buy avocados that were already ripe. So I did what I would do. The thing about the chips and salsa is it's like what I'd do for a party if I was going at the last minute anyways.
Okay.
So going vegan isn't like a big, in that sense, transition.
Right. Right.
Different approach from what I'd normally do under this similar circumstances.
So that I'm glad you brought that up, because it shows that you can do vegan on the go. Like last minute, you can bring something that's vegan. And people don't normally look at that as vegan, but it's definitely a good little thing to bring to a party. So thanks, Roger. Mm-hmm. And so there was no challenge or a
no challenge.
Okay.
No, maybe I could have.
Cool. Okay, so Candace, can you tell us about your dish?
I made a lentil soup. So I always try to keep a bag of Goya dried lentils in my cabinet for, like, if I need to make something, then I don't have any meat or something, or I don't have a lot of stuff. It's really cheap. You can get a big bag of lentils for like $1.
Wow.
And you don't have to soak lentils like the other dried beans, so you can make them quick. And I would usually make it in a pot and stir it for a few hours, but since it was the first day of school today and I got home late last night, I just threw it in a crock pot last night and cooked it overnight for 8 hours, and just brought the whole crock pot with me. I added onions, celery, red peppers, green peppers, garlic, and I added raisins. I usually don't, but sometimes when I go to the Moroccan restaurant, they have raisins. So it's good.
Perfect. And you said that you made this dish also with ham. So this is a dish that you normally make, and you just took out the ham.
Yeah, usually I would use like a chicken-based broth, which is like an organic, like gel kind of stuff that I scoop out, and They get it from Costco, but they make a vegetarian one too.
Right.
I didn't have that. Costco was closed, so I just got vegetarian broth, liquid, and threw it in there. And but yeah,
Okay.
it's a way to alternate, like,
Right.
different recipes.
And I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of times we make dishes that if you just take out one ingredient, the meat, you have a vegan dish. So you don't have to like go and find a recipe or go and find, like Tommy had to go on a trek for vegan mayonnaise, which is cool, but you just are like, I just don't have to use the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So that was perfect. And there was no challenge or pleasant surprise with.
Other than I thought I had more produce in my fridge than I did, so I had to go to the farmer's market last night. But I live near the farmer's market, so it was no big deal.
Okay.
And it was cheap. The onion, celery, and everything was like $100.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I
Nice.
think that the whole pot, it's a huge pot, 5 cups of soup was like $14 for all the ingredients and that, and you could freeze half, and I've done that before.
Right. And that's a meal that you can have for lunch or dinner
Mhm.
for a few days.
Yep.
Thank you. Tina?
All right, so I did the unassuming vegan cake, which we found online yesterday at lunch in this lovely Public Allies mug. This was the only one I think that firmed up like cake, but the recipe was actually used store-bought Duncan Hines classic cake and Duncan Hines whipped icing. Supposedly, they're
Which are both
vegan.
vegan.
Yes, so that is what it is. And then you used soda in it. So this is all not healthy, but yet vegan.
Right.
And for the person that doesn't care about the health aspects of veganism, I suppose. So, and so Roger just took a bite.
Flavor is not bad.
Well, it's cake mix and icing. So
It's the
and
texture that-
yeah, the texture is odd.
Somewhere between a gummy worm
But I will
and marshmallow.
However, the first one actually looks like cake, which was surprising, and then you
Oh,
put icing
wow.
on it. It was surprising. So that was a positive surprise. However, the remainder were not as successful. But it took 2 minutes in the microwave for each of these mug cakes, and hopefully maybe Roger said it was a science, not an art, so maybe I measured wrong because we didn't have a measuring cup here in the office. So
Okay.
maybe that would be my learning experience, is use a measuring cup next
Right.
time, and it would probably be perfect.
Nice. Now, was it inexpensive to make versus?
Oh, I mean,
If
it
you
was,
were to-
for everything, it was like $6
Wow.
for 8 servings of mug cake
Okay. Nice.
and icing.
Well, thanks for sharing. And you brought up something that is not always healthy, but just like with anybody, vegans, we take everything in moderation. So it's nice to have dessert sometimes. And so that's cool that you made that.
It took 2 minutes.
Aren't Oreos all vegan?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like, if you go on PETA, you can find a list of like stuff, unassuming vegan things, like the Ritz crackers with the cheese. They used to be vegan, they're not anymore, but those are like my favorite crackers. So
Oh.
there's a lot of stuff out there. But thanks for sharing the new one. Does anyone want to throw in one last piece of advice for incoming public allies, eating cheap on a budget, healthier,
I think simple ingredients.
simple ingredients?
Yeah, it's cheaper and easier to think out. So you get a sweet potato and cover it in foil and put it in your oven or your toaster oven for 40 minutes. Boom.
Right.
You know, that's something simple that I used to do.
Okay.
And quick.
Right.
Ray, you brought this up before we got started in terms of your experience when you were an ally, but really cooking your own food saves a lot of money.
Definitely.
Like when I think about how much it cost me to buy the ingredients and the amount of time it took to make the pizza, it was probably less time than it would take to order a pizza and go pick it up
Right.
and bring it back home. And it was just a fraction of the price that you would pay for a pizza from a shop.
Right. And I wanted to bring up an experience when I was a public ally. I ate out a lot, even though then I was a vegetarian, I wasn't a vegan. So I would eat out all the time at my placement and then here on Fridays. And then I switched over to vegan and I started working for this community center, and I would bring my meals, and I noticed that my lunch was about like relaxing and really centering, and I would go back into work feeling a lot more motivated. So I think when you're out on the go and you're trying to find lunch and you're eating out, and it's just like you're not focused when you come back. So I really thought that was a great thing to share. Thanks everyone for sharing.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.